Now listen, let's move on to Nightcrawler then.
Yeah, Nightcrawler, it is back in certain cinemas. I'm surprised by that, I honestly am. It's having a bit of a limited re-release, I have to say, to be honest with you. There is the odd sporadic screening in Preston as well as in Blackburn, where I saw it yesterday. And I have to say that I found it to be rather oddly enchanting in a very weird way.
What's it all about?
The movie is about a guy called Lou Bloom, who is a scrap metal thief. He's a man who is desperately trying to find a job of some description. And one night, as he's driving on his way back to his flat, he sees a group of men racing to film a car accident, to film the aftermath of this car accident, whereafter he learns that these men are filming accidents and all kinds of crime events to then sell them to local television networks for footage for the news reports. And he thinks to himself that he is going to try and do the same thing. The movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and the movie itself is very, very, very dark.
Oh dear.
Sometimes satirical, sometimes a thriller. It often moves, it often evolves and often changes, but in a way which is actually rather marvellous to it. It is not a movie where you can simply say that it is satirising news and news broadcasts. It's not a movie that you can say that it's simply about this very, very, very warped, very twisted individual. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic in this movie, playing this very strange, very vicious, sociopathic psychopath of a man.
Dear.
He arranges his relationships. There's a moment midway through the movie where he's trying to hook up with someone, to hook up with a woman that he fancies, and he arranges that entire date like someone trying to arrange a business meeting.
Right.
It is truly remarkable seeing it, particularly from the physical performance of him, because he's very tall, lanky, with these weird boggly eyes. He has this very strange, otherworldly presence to him, both physically, but also within the performance itself, which is remarkable. It is very much his movie at the end of the day. It is very much about his character, which is this very fascinatingly dark and horrible man. Also in this movie, I have to say, is Riz Ahmed, who you may know from the movie Four Lions. He's great, he's wonderful, and it's great to see him in this movie where he plays Lou's intern Rick, who is this very subdued, very vacuous individual who is way over his head. He applies for this. He just seemingly finds the posting on the internet, no details on it. The next thing he knows is driving across Los Angeles to go to see car accidents and house fires.
Right.
I found this movie to be very, very enjoyable, but I can't say that I loved it, purely because there feels at the heart of it as though there's something missing.
Right.
And I'm not entirely sure what that is. There is certainly, to me, the soundtrack is terrible. Honestly, one of the worst I've heard in quite a while, which takes a great deal away from the movie. It is astounding. Most of the soundtrack itself just feels like stock sound. Just there's certain websites you can pay $200 or something to get a bunch of songs that you can use for movies, and it just feels like that. Just at times very light guitar bits, some more heavy metal bits, a bit that sounds like the theme tune to, I don't know, Forrest Gump at one moment, where it's just about the police station. It's astounding.
Oh dear.
And around November time, I know Radio 1 did a Radio 1 Rescores thing, and this is a movie that I'd like to see rescored.
Yeah.
As if you had a soundtrack maybe a little bit more like Drives, then we'd be talking, then we'd have a little bit more grit to the movie. Possibly as well, that's another thing that's missing from it, grit. Even though this is a movie where you got a guy going to car accidents, going to see people get shot up and in horrible accidents, there still seems to be something missing from it, a little bit of more edge to it. Whilst Gyllenhaal's performance is very edgy, whilst his character is very, very pitch black and dark, there seems to be, in the very makeup of the movie, just something missing to just put it that little bit higher. I did enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you can see it in the cinema, then by all means, because some of the cinematography in this movie is just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Like I say, had we had as great a soundtrack in movies like Drive, a little bit more synthy, something that is a little bit more hinted at by the trailer to this movie, that opening bit, that opening crawl of Los Angeles would have been wonderful and one of the more powerful moments I've seen in cinema for a while. But the moment, as it is, just light, hazy guitar bits fading in and out. It kind of spoils it ever so slightly. I did enjoy the movie. I didn't love it.
Oh,
I
dear.
quite liked it. It will be on DVD shortly, though, towards the end of the month. So if you missed it in the cinema, then see it now whilst you still can. There's a few screenings in Preston, in Blackburn. If you miss those, get it on DVD, get it on Blu-ray. It will look fantastic. Soundtrack not so much, but it will look wonderful.
One last quick text here from, where's the name? From Piers. Says Jake Gyllenhaal, he's never one to shy away from the darkness of a character's soul, and in this particular film, he's absolutely in his element.
Yeah, it is a wonderful, wonderful performance to see from start to finish, just seeing how horrible he can be, but at the same time, he's a character that looks like he could just snap at any moment. Almost like the driver from the movie Drive. It's almost like an opposite to him. Ryan Gosling's character in Drive barely ever speaks. Jake Gyllenhaal's character speaks almost constantly. They're more or less, in some regards, the same character, but Jake Gyllenhaal's is this very horrible little man. I know that Jake Gyllenhaal was also in a movie last year called Enemy, which I really want to see. I've heard wonderful things about it. I may review it in the future if I can find a copy of it.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
by all means, see this movie if you get the opportunity.